What is going on, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today we are doing the next part in the Missouri livestream series. Basically, in the last one, we actually were elected President of the United States, even though we were possibly, I think, on a really easy difficulty. We were playing as a Democrat. We ended up scoring 359 electoral votes. That popular vote margin is bugged, I guess. That's interesting. But what is going on, everyone? We have a big spike in viewers, actually. Everyone, welcome to the live stream. If you can actually look at see what this popular vote margin is. What is this going on? I don't know. I won the Electoral College, but then this guy won 99.7% of the vote. This is just starting, and this is what our electoral map looks like. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and get back right into it. Let's see what kind of legislation we can get past this term. And yeah, so disappointing. Always need to play on normal difficulty, for shame. Yeah, I am sorry. But anyway, what is going on? Michael Falk, welcome to the live stream. Max, welcome to the live stream. Dallin, How Devilly, Damien and Brady, welcome to the live stream. Let's go ahead and process through. Let's see if that actually changes. Yep, nope. We have 145,000 votes to 56 million. That's but for some reason we won the Electoral College. I guess that's our cue to possibly end the Electoral College. Hey, what's going on to Broader Point? Welcome to the live stream. State-wise, we have these. City-wise, 46,000 to 44,000. What city are we actually playing in? We are Kansas City, actually. Is that city? Am I playing in, like, the wrong county or something? What is going on, Jordan? Welcome to the live stream. Alright, let's go ahead and get some of these passed. What about SNAP? $74 billion. Education-wise, let's see. Go ahead and introduce a universal education. 24 to 14 passes the House Committee, and as the House Education and Workforce Committee. You started this as my movie ended. Great timing. Hell yeah. Do you think Biden will drop out because of his sexual assault allegations? I don't think he's going to drop out. I believe that, apparently my bit rate is actually down, so let me fix this while I explain. No, I don't think that Biden will drop out. I think a major party candidate dropping out of the race is a very unlikely situation. Okay, so apparently let's go ahead and put this at 4,500 kilobytes. Then let's see, hopefully this live stream does not drop off in a second. Anyway, let's go ahead and get past. That passes through the committee. And I guess that doesn't pass. He has been assigned, wait, what? Which one? Which one? Okay, HR 6 has passed 255 to 180. Well, who controls the House? So the House is controlled by Democrats. We have possibly a tougher fight in the Senate, actually. Hey, what's going on, PLEDSTO? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you so much for the subscription. PG want to be on the panel. Actually, yeah, Broader Point, I would actually like to. I meant to message you a minute ago, but I completely forgot. But yeah, that would actually interest me to be on that panel that you were talking about earlier. House, Senate, we actually have a harder time getting past. Wow, we have been consistently under Republican control in the Senate since about 2007, it looks like. Yeah, that was around 2007, 2008, 2009. Huh, interesting. Hopefully, and then we actually have split control in Iowa, Ohio, Florida, and Maine. Hopefully we can actually hit Maine, try to get Maine to actually be a part of ours. I don't know when their next thing is actually going to be. So we're in the year 2017. The next election, I do not know when it is. Denied this. Oh, okay, so that was denied a hearing in the Senate. Okay, I get it. That sucks. That really sucks. I don't think Trump will lose because of all the allegations are with Biden, not with Trump this time. Well, that could still, I mean, it depends on really what the Democrats actually want to do. We got Rob Portman, Sherrod Brown here. We got a federal sales tax, unemployment tax. What is this doing right now? Let's try, because whenever you increase this the only thing that it goes to is towards state unemployment programs. So we're not really doing anything to. Let's go over here to crime. Let's see what's going on with cannabis. All right, cannabis is true, so that means that the legality of cannabis is actually legal. So we do not have to really fight for that. The allegations are losing oxygen. Yeah, I think that's actually kind of what's going on, is that the allegations aren't holding up. I actually haven't looked a lot into the cases so far, but I do believe that she has a right to everything that's been going on, to say something. Yes, of course, but from what I'm seeing so far, it's just not, there, I guess. The Democrats are going to cover it up, basically. Let me go ahead and reduce this again. Immigration, family, work, diversity, refugee, and path to citizenship. We could actually go for a path to citizenship if we wanted to. Universal health care, possibly. Let's go ahead and check what's going on in the budget, because there's actually a game that I'm playing right now that's actually in the year 2045, I believe. It's like in the 2040s, and the United States has consistently been running a deficit for about 20 years in my game. And I'm actually a senator of the state of Florida, and the state of Florida, is doing okay, but the federal government is actually doing horrible. And that's, look at all this. I mean, look at the explosion in spending, with barely any changes to what's going on in the revenue situation. $700 billion deficit that we are dealing with. Even whenever I started out in the year 2000, we were still dealing with a pretty edgy debt situation at the same time. I laughed so hard when I saw that video. I actually haven't seen that. In my game, it's like 2060, and I've been president 4 times, and I'm Speaker of the House 10 years running. Nice. I'm surprised you've actually been able to keep that much, keep a Speaker of the House that long, unless you're talking about leader of the party, at least. Treasury fund, we got a pretty big deficit that we got to deal with. Road trust, we have $52 billion to cover. Social Security, we have $400 billion to cover. And Medicare, we have $500 billion to cover. This is going to require an increase in taxes, and I highly doubt I'm ever going to be able to get that passed. Medicare, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. Metrics, again, we have all of these trusts that we need to get back on track, and that's actually one of the worst things about my game. And the other one is actually these trusts are completely unfunded, and it's very rare. I mean, look, 2017 and we're already out of Social Security money. PG, who is the best president in your opinion? Broader point, you spelled Reagan wrong. I believe JFK was actually a very awesome president. JFK was actually one that actually he did a lot for this country, and he's a very inspiring president. The Cuban Missile Crisis he handled beautifully. I believe that JFK is actually a very good president. I don't know if, I mean, you could say he's my favorite. I don't really know. But yeah, if I were to pick one, JFK would have to be that. Politics Gaming, why don't you run for your city's mayor in real life? I've thought about it. I've thought about going into politics. It's actually one of the big things that actually interests me the most. We all know Andrew Jackson was the best. Yikes. Are you sure that Andrew Jackson? I mean, what policies do you believe that Andrew Jackson implemented was the best? Theodore Roosevelt, I could actually agree on because of his push for national parks and the protection of nature. I would agree with Theodore. Andrew Jackson, I wouldn't agree on literally specifically because of the Trail of Tears. JFK was far too left for me. How could you explain why? Let's go ahead and let's see what kind of caucuses though we are dealing with. Republican Conservative Committee, Wesley Ashton, and then Vice Chair Wally Cornell. We go into politics. We go into Senate anyway. Like, we are completely golden. We have complete control over Democrats, and the Libertarian Caucus actually loves us as well. We jumped from 82,000 political points all the way up to about 1 million. It's awesome. I gotta go. Hillary Clinton, best president ever. Yes, sir. Thank you. Obama was the worst president. $16 trillion of debt because of him. It's not 16. I believe it was like 9 around that. Committees, what do we got? What are we dealing with here? We actually have a problem with, which one was it? Not Native American Affairs. It was the Health, Education, and Pensions. We've got the chair is Mark Monroe. He is from West Virginia. Then we have majority members Gabriel Santana, Mo Barton. We have a man from Texas. Here he is, the senator, esteemed senator from Texas, Mr. Hale. PGI fix my selling catch up, Uncle Joe. Oh my God. Of course we can trust the Catholics. Yes, sir, we can. Not according to what I looked up. I am so confused though as to what is going on right now. Committees, let's go ahead and look at what's going on in the Ways and Means Committee of the House of Representatives. We have Mrs. Leila Hearn, Minnesota 7. Got New York 20 right here. Let's see where he is. He's a progressive Democrat. District New York 20. Departments, let's go ahead and see what's going on in our departments. Health and Human Services, let's go over here. 86% of the population has access to healthcare. Since last year, access to healthcare has increased by 0%. Medicaid has provided 30.7 million low-income individuals, or 9% of the population. The federal share for Medicaid is $195 billion. And then Medicare, that's Medicaid. Medicare is provided to 66 million Americans, or 20% of the population, at a cost of $859 billion. And then since last year, access to Medicare has increased by 1.6 million recipients. And then the last of these Medicare programs, or the protective programs we have, is TANF, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Fund. This provides a temporary source of income for low-income and families. This program is also known as welfare. The federal government provides financial assistance to 13.2 million individuals at a cost of $15 billion. And then TANF likely reduces the poverty effect by 0.4%. I don't understand why American right-wingers label themselves as patriotic when it comes to war, but have no problem putting everyone's health at risk regarding the recent anti-lockdown protests. Have you seen all of the updates from the developer? And by the way, you're the reason I bought this game. Hell yeah, thank you for buying this game. I really love it whenever people support creators that I really want to support. I perceive this as all contradiction. Yeah, see, my problem with that is actually, my problem with it is that people are basically saying that, oh, well, because their issue with it, and yeah, everyone go ahead and join that Discord if you actually haven't. If you're watching, go ahead and join the Discord in the link. But yeah, my issue with that is actually the whole thing about how people are basically saying, oh, well, like, just let us have the choice to go out. Let people choose whether they want to go out during all of this. That's not how it works. That's not what it's supposed to be. Like, it's literally a disease. It's a disease. Like, how much further do you have to go to do that? It's not something, it's not the flu. It's not the cold. It's not any of these, like, basically diseases that we've been dealing with for a long time since human existence has begun. This is a new disease that we have not dealt with before, that we have not seen before. And we need to precaution ourselves to stop it from spreading. And it's not a matter of freedom or not. It's a matter of life and death. Anyway, let's see how much interest payments on national debt, $167 billion. It's actually funny. In the other game where I'm actually playing as Florida, this one actually is actually up to $700 billion. I am spending $700 billion just to keep up with interest payments on the debt. And this is only going up. We need to fix that situation immediately. And we need to do that by the next budget round. We're definitely going to be reducing spending. We're going to be creating a surplus. We need Congress to work with us on that. Libertarians like us, but that is literally a very small percentage of the Senate and the House. We have 3 actual libertarians in the Senate, interestingly enough. We have no influence over the moderates or Republican conservative caucuses. If people want to go outside, let them go. Okay, that's where I'm going to say, like, no, don't let them go outside. If they're sick, do you want them to go outside? Are you personally going to be in a subway, in a concert, at a political rally where you know people are sick? Are you going to go outside and be with them knowing something like that is out there? And if so, like, it doesn't matter if this is America or not. See, my thing is that I'm totally going to get demonetized for talking about this. Like, so just a reminder, if you guys are watching, donations are completely appreciated. I'm probably going to get demonetized for talking about this on live stream. So super chats are appreciated. Go to my Patreon, support me on Patreon, go to PLEDSTO, and support me for less than 10 cents. Or actually, 10 cents is literally the lowest amount you can actually support me by. But go to my Patreon, PLEDSTO, or just leave super chat because this is possibly going to be demonetized. Anyway. So, okay, broader point. Do you want to join me on call, actually, so I can actually discuss this with you? Because I think this live stream is about to turn into a debate. Anyway, let's go ahead and, yeah, this is literally like a political process live stream, and then we're all screaming and debating at each other. Let's try to fix Social Security while we're actually talking about this. What's in the First Amendment that allows you to go outside during a pandemic? Well, there's nothing in the First Amendment that talks about a pandemic. There's nothing in the Constitution that talks about a pandemic. This is completely just off of our asses, you know. Let's go ahead. Speaking of COVID, probably just going to get demonetized for saying that on here. Let's go ahead and try to fix Social Security, increase the eligibility rate to 70 years old. And let's try to increase benefits to $23,000. And then increase the taxing rates to 6%, and then reduce this to $22,000. $2,150. All right, we got about freedom of assembly is a right. Yes, it is, but I don't know. Okay, HR 7, tax rate to 5.1 to 5.9, increases eligibility Social Security benefits by $500, and increases the eligibility age from 66 to 70. So then it went to the Ways and Means Committee, and then Leah Hearn has granted the bill a hearing. It possibly is not going to be granted a hearing in the Senate. But it looks like there was an amendment attached to it, and then it made it out of committee 25-14. It has then made it... Oh, this is the defense appropriations. Looks like... No. Okay, I guess it's waiting for its turn. Made it out of the Senate committee 16-10. Oh, so we made it out of Senate. Go to federal. Yeah, YouTube actually, if I talk about it, if I even say it by name, it's actually going to demonetize this live stream. So it is pretty unfair. Most of the time when you have a problem with the budget due to flat tax, Republicans tend to like it, so I could get some support from them. But yeah, see, the only reason I don't like to do that on a federal level is because, I mean, to do that, to have a flat tax, I have to... Okay, let's go to tax reform. So to have a flat tax, I have to make up $2 trillion, okay? That's $232 billion that I don't have. If I get rid of the income tax, then I institute flat tax. That does not make up for the amount of money that I'm going to be losing. So I have to increase this to how much? 25%? Looks like just around 25% to do that. And imagine what that's going to do to people making less than imagine what that's going to do to people making less than $10,000. So it's not something, you know, that's, I don't know. Flat tax on a federal level, I think, is a lot more unfair because, you know, to fund government operations, you're going to have to increase that to a pretty high number. You have the freedom of assembly, but if you do take precaution, wear a mask. I haven't seen one protest against the stay-at-home orders when people social distancing and wearing masks. Yeah, see, wearing a mask is one way to do it. Yes, I believe that there should be possibly even a what do you call it? Like a federal mask order or something like that. We should all be wearing masks. I believe in that. But at the same time, you're not going to expect everyone to do that. Like, people are going to either ignore it because, I mean, people are ignorant. A lot of the people that are doing this don't really, like, think that, I'm trying to figure out a way to explain it. I want it to end too. We're actually gonna have a discussion with someone on here, and I'm actually gonna get rid of the music just for a moment, and we're gonna actually have a little bit of discussion with someone about this. This is actually going to be someone that I am partnering with. His name is The Broader Point, and if you have actually not subscribed to The Broader Point, please go subscribe to The Broader Point. He is a very interesting fellow. Is it possible to balance a flat tax with an income tax, like institute a 10% flat tax, but decrease the lower wage taxes? Could be a sneaky way to increase taxes on the rich in that regard. I actually haven't thought about that. That's actually a really interesting way to go about it. Oh, I can hear you. What? And if those watching this live stream right now, if you cannot hear him, let me know. Talk again. Hell yeah. I'm just gonna increase your volume all the way up just so I can hear you. All right, so what are your opinions on what we were discussing? Apparently the live stream cannot hear you. Hearn't. Alright, it looks like that our bill is actually getting out of the Senate committee. It should be going to... Made it out of committee with a vote of 50-0. No, that was the agriculture FDA appropriations bill. This is HR 7. Okay, it looks like it made it to my desk. Interesting. Compared to the current policy, this will reduce expenditure by $290 billion, increase tax revenue by $139 billion, and decrease access to Social Security by 14.9 million retirees. Let's go ahead and support that bill, and looks like that left our lockbox. Let's go ahead and start supporting these appropriations bills as we wait to have our little discussion. It's just that your voice is really, really, really low. Are you on your phone or something? Are you able to like get on your laptop? Yeah, I would recommend that. I always wondered why you don't have more subscribers. I think it's because, I mean, not a lot of people are interested in this kind of stuff, and I mean, I like it. It's, just a matter of how many people are exposed to my content, and more people are, seeing my content. I mean, my subscriber count has actually exploded over the past, like, month. I was at about 2,500 maybe a couple months ago, and then now I'm at 3,100 now. So I mean, get me more subscribers, you know, like and subscribe. People watching right now possibly aren't subscribed. So if you actually haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out. Yeah, not strategy games are not everyone's cup of tea, but there's a pretty big base out there. Yeah, but your content sucks. I'm just kidding. I actually haven't. Let me check. $2.6 billion for the legislative branch. That's funny. What was that? Oh, whatever. Which anyone who is actually in the Discord, the PG Discord, if you're actually interested in having a discussion with us, I believe you guys are actually free to join as long as you're not, you know, messing around in it. So go ahead and join the discussion in the voice chat in my server if you are actually interested in it. I think this game is underrated because it's generally simple. It's a general simple way to begin to understand elections and functions of government. It would be cool simulation to do in an AP government class. I'm an IMO. That actually, yeah, if I was a teacher for a government class, I would actually be showing off this game. So what's your plan to stop this crisis because over 60,000 Americans have died and we're under lockdown? I don't have a plan to stop the crisis. I believe that everyone should realize what the hell is going on, and I believe that everyone should realize like that this is not a game. This is not something that you can sit there and say like everyone has a right to go out. Yeah, everyone has a right to go out, but whenever everyone's life is on the line for going outside, then I think that should be stopped. I think that I do not believe in big government. I do not believe that the government should take away any sorts of rights, but I do believe in this specific instance, in this one instance, is that the government should at least stop people and limit what is happening and what kind of restaurants are open and what kind of buildings are open. And concerts shouldn't be happening. Concerts should not be allowed to happen. Big events, sporting events, possibly such as the NFL, that shouldn't happen either. And I'll actually be right back. Alright, now I am back. Alright. MLB season. See, I mean, there's gonna be a wave that there's gonna be a way for people to actually do sports. Like, they're gonna be able to continue these sports without, like, having people out there. And that's my argument, is that these things should continue. It's just that there shouldn't be large gatherings of people, because it's needless. It's not something that we need to do. It's just not, I don't know, it's just not safe. Go ahead. I actually haven't been hearing a lot about that. I have been hearing that, basically, I've been hearing that they've been ignored, but it's kind of hard to say, because I really don't know. Yeah, because I mean, what do you call it? Let me actually pull up the John Hopkins thing. It's like this area around the Black Belt in southern Georgia. Like, if you look along the Black Belt, there is an extremely protruding line of very high cases in these majority black counties. I mean, New Orleans is like an epicenter of what's going on. And in Georgia, like from Clay County, Early County, in like the southwestern bend of the area, I mean, the cases in like around Albany and Daughtry County, Georgia, like those counties are just extremely high. So, I mean, there could be a correlation, but I'm not going to jump on that because I'm not an expert on demographics. I'm not an expert on COVID. So, Yeah, apparently, like, again, like, people are still having trouble hearing you, so they don't know what you're saying. Basically, the broader point is saying that, like, I completely forgot what you said. Hell yeah. Yeah, you should really fix your thing. What's going on, Sleeky? Welcome to the live stream. I'm actually going to go ahead and get to this budget allocation. And our Social Security law goes into effect. Let's see what that does. We actually have a $56 million clearing. We have $56 million in the Social Security fund now. That's funny. And the Treasury fund. We actually have a positive surplus. Interesting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, please, please stay out of my thing, PTK. You're gonna demonetize me even more. And Sleeky, you are now mod. Welcome to the mod squad. All right, and Secretary of the Treasury, we have a $8.4 billion debt situation, $25,000 per citizen. We have paid $182 billion in interest payments for the debt. This has not reduced the debt and provided no public benefit to our constituents. And the federal budget has a surplus this year of $139 billion. Attorney General, he says that, or she says that, federal prison system currently houses nearly 500,000 inmates at a cost of $17.5 billion. Agriculture, we have our federal food programs. We have need-based lunches, which you could probably replace with like universal lunches. 47% of students receive food assistance from the federal government. That's a goddamn high number. Program costs approximately $10 billion, and our need-based breakfast program, 2.5 million students, and 47% of students receive food assistance from the federal government, and that costs us $3.1 billion. Hey, what's going on, PTK? Oh my god, I can't even hear you. Talk again? Why does everyone sound really low? I'm trying to see if I can fix that. I don't know. Let's see what's going on. Because everyone's mics are bad. Yeah, I can totally agree with that. Anyway. Alright, since that's not gonna work out, I'll go ahead and do like a separate podcast and a separate live stream. But yeah, everyone's mics are bad. Hashtag, please help me. Where are you talking from? Are you asking what state I'm in? Because I've said that like 20,000 times. City law eliminates a universal background check. That sucks. That's stupid. We got 2 years next to the next presidential election, and hopefully we are not challenged. Housing and urban development. Let's go ahead and check on these numbers. I've been looking over the data, and it appears that the country has approximately 1.1 million homeless individuals. Of those, 100% reporting having access to some form of homeless shelter. Oh yeah, everyone say happy birthday to RG. Welcome to the live stream, RG. Haven't seen you in a while, but happy birthday. Since last year, homelessness has increased by 21%. Jesus Christ. Public housing programs provide assistance to approximately 3.9 million families. We calculate that this helps reduce the poverty effect by 0.6%. That is a very small number. President Hawkins, I can report that approximately 69% of highways are in good condition. Need to get that number up. Roughly 43% of roads experience some congestion, reducing traffic flow. I would recommend increasing the road maintenance budget before road conditions get too bad. I would recommend increasing the road construction budget. Adding more roads and more lanes would help reduce congestion. If government does not have the funds, you could always increase the gasoline tax. Secretary of the Education, the current graduation students is 86.8% since 2017. The graduation rate has decreased by 0%. And Commissioner of the Social Security Administration. Social Security provides assistance to approximately 49.2 million individuals actually, at a cost of $1.05 trillion. By our calculations, approximately 29.9 million retirees would become impoverished without Social Security. Let's go ahead and do the federal budget. $343 billion needs to be cleared so we can make sure that we are doing something at least. Let's take an idea from one of the earlier guys. Let's reduce taxes by astronomical numbers. Let's go ahead and decrease let's do the second income tax bracket at 10%. The lowest income bracket at 3%. The third income bracket, less than $91,000, at 20%. 825. Let's go ahead and get a 10% flat tax going. Okay, so this requires, let's increase that to 45% to 40%. Let's increase the lowest income bracket at 6%, this to 12%, $79 billion. And let's do the flat tax at 12%. So that's 12% plus, all of the stuff. Who will you be voting for in November? Definitely not Joe Biden. Please don't think I'm voting for Joe Biden. Sean Washington, welcome to the live stream. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's go ahead. Standard deduction. Let's go ahead and increase that to $8,000. Personal exemption, we're going to go ahead and leave at $4,000. PG is a Republican last time I checked. I'm possibly a Republican. Actually, okay, this is getting us $920 billion. Let's get rid of the flat tax. Let's fix this. $711 billion that we need to make up. Social Security. Let's increase that to 6%. God, look at that. Bro, PG's a libertarian. What are you talking about? Hell yeah. Justin Amash. God, I hate him. Let's increase this to 70. Let's increase the taxing to 3.5%. It's going to do it. Hopefully that gets passed. Federal sales tax automatically gets us $241 billion. Let's try to do that. Let's go for the federal sales tax. With our reduced taxes for the lower incomes, below $91,000 is our income. And above $91,000 is actually, he literally voted with Trump 90% of the time. He's a Republican. Oh, are you talking about Justin Amash? He's the only libertarian in the U.S. House. All right, Medicare seems to be in order. Social Security seems to be in order. We have a positive deficit for the federal budget. This is us working on the federal budget. This is the first time I've ever been able to balance out the federal budget. Okay, so the federal sales tax gets us $329 billion off of sales tax revenue. Tobacco tax, $2. Wow, that's a lot of money. Everyone watching right now, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And carbon emissions tax, $9 billion. I'm not going to worry about that. Renewable energy tax credit. Since we are actually messing with the tax code, let's go ahead and offer a little more tax credits. Let's do about a 10-cent tax credit toward renewable energy. This is provides tax credits for utility companies that produce renewable energy. Let's actually do that at 5 cents. Interest payments on the national debt is $8.4 trillion to domestic and foreign investors. Until that debt is paid off, the federal government must pay interest payments to those investors, and current expenditure, which is a mandatory expenditure, is $179 billion. And discretionary expenditures, we have funding toward the IRS and the administrative costs of the Treasury Department. Let's go to healthcare. See what we can start doing with healthcare. We have eligibility for TANF. We're not going to mess with that. The federal government currently provides 64.4% of funding toward foster care, which I wish that was higher. Usually state governments are actually funding about 90% of it. Funding for social service programs, $1.9 billion. National Institutes of Health, Health Resources and Services Administration, payments to states for child support, refugee and trans assistance program. Let's go ahead and cut $200 million from that. Centers for Disease Control. Let's put $3 billion into that. Substance abuse and mental health services. Let's go ahead and do that at $4 billion. In the House, he's independent. Look it up. Yeah, he's at. Well, actually, okay. So there's a right and wrong to the argument that you're actually having right now. Justin Amash left the Republican Party, right? He left the Republican Party, and then he is filing for a presidential exploratory committee with the Libertarian Party. So in the House of Representatives, he is still... Let me actually go ahead and check this. Let's go ahead and look up Justin Amash. Because I know he's trying to take away the vote from the president, becoming an independent. Okay, so yeah, he did join the Libertarian Party. He's the first member of the Libertarian Party to serve in the U.S. House of Representatives. So yeah, he is a libertarian. He's just trying to take enough part of the vote away from Republicans, from the Republican Party in November, to make Trump lose the election. And possibly even if he campaigns thoroughly, he has the possibility of winning states, and then it goes to the House of Representatives. Now, whether the House of Representatives would vote for Justin Amash or Trump, because I mean we're in the same position that we were in 2016. We are stuck with two very unpopular candidates, and that is why I cannot trust the Democratic Party, is because they keep on throwing these candidates that no one likes. People don't like Joe Biden. No one likes Joe Biden. Why are the Democrats doing this again? I don't know why. I really just cannot fathom why they're doing that. Let's go ahead and increase FDA funding by about $500 million. Let's give more funding, $7 billion to $7.5 billion of school improvement grants. This is education. Impact aid grants, let's go ahead and do that at about $2 billion. If you actually do not know what an impact aid grant is, an impact it actually describes it as this. This provides funding for impact aid grants, which provides funding to school districts that reside fully or partially on federal land. School districts on federal land often do not collect property taxes, which means they lack funding to provide quality education. Impact aid grants are used to overcome the funding deficit. Some school districts that are eligible for impact aid grants are school districts found on Native American reservations. Now, one thing I'm actually really excited for, and I do believe that we should actually have an interaction with this game, is actually the management and funding of Native American reservations. And look at this, $71 billion in the Medicare Trust Fund and $12.4 billion for the Social Security Trust Fund. Joe Biden is popular among lobbyists. Yes, he's popular among lobbyists, but money is not going to buy you the election. Like, it happened in 2016. Trump spent less money than Hillary Clinton did. Take that in. Let me actually go ahead and fact check that real quick since I said it. Let me actually just fact check myself. Money spent, let's go ahead and do this, spent in 2016. And I do believe actually Hillary Clinton spent more money than Donald Trump did. Yeah, she did. Holy crap. So there was this really funny quote from Hillary Clinton whenever she actually said, like, what kind of genius loses $1 billion in a single year? And that's exactly what happened. And it's funny that Democrats actually sit there and talk about Citizens United, about companies funding these elections, and the Democrats are the ones taking in most of the money. I can't fathom that. I don't know why the Democrats are such big hypocrites. They sit there and, I mean, there's problems with the Republican Party. I'm not going to deny that. I am a Republican. I am a conservative. There are problems, big problems with the Republican Party. There are problems with President Trump. He is not this godlike figure. He is not this guy who is the savior of America. Yeah, he's possibly going to make America great again, but I don't think he's a god. And some people do refer to him as a god. They think that he is like this guy sent by Jesus. And that's a very small minority of people, but there's still people like that. The Democrats are so disconnected from their base. Yes, they are. If I can look at both parties and look at which one is more disconnected, it's absolutely the Democrats. The Democrats have absolutely no way that they are actually connected, because again, they're throwing these old white dudes at the base. They're absolutely just not connected. I mean, young people wanted Bernie Sanders. They wanted free healthcare. They wanted free education. They wanted free stuff. And the Democrats did not listen. They listened to themselves, and now they're stuck with Joe Biden. They're stuck with someone who is actively being shown to be someone that they fought tooth and nail against President Trump for. If Trump is a sexual assaulter, then if Biden is, why are they running with them? Why are they running with him? Yeah, free stuff. That's I mean, I'm just saying it. I'm saying it as in like what they want. We need an LGBTQ type candidate for president. I am so stuck on explaining all of this that I'm not working on the federal budget. In my budget, let's go ahead and approve or fund universal preschool. That's going to be something that I really, really want to get passed in my administration within the next 4 years. Department of Labor, let's see what we can do. No increases to taxes. $7.7 billion going toward the states is what I'm going to be going for. We got the FAA, FTA, and FRA. Let's go ahead and give more funding to the FRA, the Federal Railroad Administration. The Federal Aviation Administration, let's go ahead and give that $3 billion. And Federal Transit Administration, let's go ahead and give that $20 billion. And again, for those watching right now, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you are a supporter of my channel, please consider leaving a super chat. If you actually have any questions for me, leave them in a super chat and I can answer them quicker than I can with the regular chat. Those things will take priority. So if you actually want to ask me a question, or if you have any, like a huge question that you really, really want me to answer, leaving them in a super chat helps the channel out and it gets your your question answered. Housing and urban development, let's see what we're doing. Rural rent assistance. This is rent assistance to low-income individuals in rural communities. PG is not secretly a Russian spy. He is it openly. Yes, I am a Russian spy, sir. State Department, let's see what kind of funding we're going to cut from here. Administration of Foreign Affairs, diplomatic and consular programs. What can we cut? I want to cut funding from something. International organizations, let's go ahead and cut that. $2.5 billion to international organizations, up from that. I really, just because of the WHO, that's gonna be it's gonna be something. Global health programs, what else? Economic support, let's go ahead and cut $700 million from that. PG is basically the new Maui. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am. Foreign military financing. Let's cut $300 million from that. Multilateral assistance. Let's cut $900 billion. Let's cut $1 billion from that. Multilateral development banks. Let's go ahead and put that at $1.5 billion. We're cutting a lot of money from the State Department. Let's go for $40 billion into NASA. Does not AOC demand employee ownership in the enterprises? I think everyone crying over AOC is such a big, like, baloney, because AOC is not a bad person. I believe that AOC is actually someone doing something that I believe AOC is doing what she thinks is right. I don't agree with AOC, but bullying her and her getting so much hate is pretty disgusting, in my opinion. I can't relate to that. It's crying about AOC and what she wants. I mean, you're only giving her more attention, actually, by getting, like, if she wants, like, employee ownership in enterprises, by announcing that, no one's really gonna agree. No one really agrees with her, but the more you literally keep saying what she wants, the more you're gonna let that like idea spread to other people. PG dropping in on the chat debate, sad. Yeah, I mean, I do it all the time. Let's go ahead and get some border security funding going. Let's go ahead and put that at about $12 billion. Let's put $3 more billion into ICE. Let's do $100 million into the Secret Service. Cut funding from the Citizenship and Immigration Services. More funding. Actually, let's do $6 billion in funding for the TSA. I was literally like, hey, let's cut it. Then let's fund it. Then let's cut it again. So we're going to go ahead and fund the TSA for now. Federal Emergency Management Agency. We have $10 billion. We're going to go ahead and put into that. Energy. Let's go ahead and put some more money into nuclear energy. AOC is old news. Yeah, I know. I get it. Never stop your grind on YouTube, on this game on YouTube, man. You're great to watch and are very knowledgeable and making it enjoyable for both amateurs and skilled players. Thank you so much. AOC, then, I dare you to cut all Secret Service funding. Yes, please. Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. For now, let's go ahead and put more money into that. $400 million seems fine. We have the management of the electricity grid. Let's go ahead and put that full funding. So now what I like to do is actually, let's fund fully fund the uranium enrichment, decontamination, and decommissioning funds. Office of Nuclear Energy. Let's fully fund nuclear energy. Absolutely. Health and safety at nuclear weapon facilities. Yeah, because nuclear weapons are... It's actually funny. The nuclear weapons of the United States is actually not funded. It's actually not funded and managed by the military. Nuclear weapons of the United States are actually funded and managed by the Department of Energy. It's actually really cool to hear that. It's whenever I learned it, it was actually really interesting. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Nuclear weapons. So that's nuclear weapons. You come down here. Office of Nuclear Energy provides funding for the Office of Nuclear Energy, which is responsible for promoting and expanding nuclear energy. $1.5 billion to promote and expand nuclear energy. Go all the way up to Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy, which provides funding for the office, which in part conducts research on renewable energy. $2.7 billion in renewable energy. Look at that. I am absolutely a huge advocate for nuclear energy. And I do believe that nuclear energy is actually, very important to the fight against climate change. If climate change is a thing, and if climate change, I believe that climate change is a thing. I'm not going to sit here and have an argument about it. But climate change is going to hurt us in the future, and if we invest in nuclear energy now, we will be safe. Absolutely. Carbonless energy that we need is nuclear, and research into thorium reactors will help us and will save our planet. We need hydrogen fuel-celled cars, such as the Apollo and Shuttle program used. I actually don't know anything about that. Veterans Affairs, we're spending so much time just me going off track and discussing while I'm also trying to draft a federal budget. You guys are very distracting. How long have I been doing this? I've been doing this for about 30 minutes. I've been literally writing this budget up for about 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and wrap this federal budget up, and we'll go ahead and get on to the events going on. National Science, Legislative Branch, Smithsonian. We have $129 billion that we can actually fall back on. All right, let's go ahead and submit this federal budget. That is the first time I've actually been able to, has been submitted to Congress. HR 4, your Bill S1, Senate Bill 1. Let's actually see which ones these are. These are actually, I'm surprised that's actually being introduced into the Senate first, as submitted a universal preschool bill to Congress. Don't we have decreasing supply of helium and hydrogen? Yes, we do. The United States is actually set to run out of helium very soon, actually, probably this decade. Actually, I would have to fact check that. Looks like okay. So Senate Bill 1 was actually rejected. Mark Monroe has denied your bill a hearing, so that is gone. The rest of the bills, HR 1 through 4, were actually introduced to the House Ways and Means Committee, and then all 4 of those were granted a hearing. Looks like that's HR 3 has passed committee, HR 4 has passed committee, and HR 1 has passed committee. HR 1 was actually the tax bill, so an amendment failed. And this is for the federal sales tax. So this is going to be possibly either gutted, or it's going to probably work in our favor. Hopefully it does work in our favor. Okay, HR 3 has passed, 294 to 411. Let's see what's going on amendment-wise. HR 1. Okay, so an amendment failed, 207 to 228. So 2 amendments have actually failed. We'll never run out of natural resources. Are you serious about that? Trump's doing a lot for the environment. Actually, 1 trillion trees are planted this year. What's your source on that? Okay, budget resolution has been rejected by the Senate, 48 to 50. Shutdowns are not a part of this game yet. Okay, tax reform has made it to my desk. Creates a national sales tax with the tax rate of 5.25%. So this legislation will produce a tax revenue of $2.2 trillion, decrease of approximately $82 billion, is equivalent to decreasing taxes by 4%. 28 to 20. So this is literally to fund that entire budget that I made. Whatever. I'll go ahead and support it, and then I'll go ahead and change it in the next budget. Mr. Beast made a campaign to plant 10 million trees, I believe. Yeah, Mr. Beast is the planet's savior. All right, Medicare has passed. Eligibility is still going up. So it will bring in a tax revenue of $728 billion. Compared to the current policy, will decrease expenditure by $100 billion, increase the tax revenue by $426. Okay, hell yes, we have finally funded Medicare. We funded Medicare, guys. Awesome. Awesome, that's awesome. Will cost $811 billion. We're bringing a tax revenue of 720. Okay, so okay, I don't think we're going to be funding Medicare off of this. It looks like the amendments that were actually passed to get this passed, these were actually changed, so we're actually still in a $100 billion shortfall of that. But let's go ahead and take it. We're going to go ahead and just keep going with that. If I can get to... why do Christians support Trump? They believe that he is... they don't believe he's God. They actually believe that was actually the renewable energy tax credit that I actually introduced. So looks like most of our bills actually passed. No, I don't think it's because of Mike Pence. It's because it's not because like they believe that he is God or he is Jesus. They believe that he was sent by Jesus to, bring balance to the United States. And that's not everyone. I can't speak for all Christians. It's just that they believe that he is here to put God back into the country. And because a lot of Christians do believe, especially a lot of evangelical white Christians, and I'm going off of an electorate here, they basically believe that the reason why we are so bad, I guess, right now is because there's not God in school, there's not God in America anymore. There's no importance to God in our lives, and they believe that's why we have slipped and that we are in such turmoil every single day, because God is not instilled in our values. And yeah, prayer in school, a lot of that they believe that's why. Vocational training for programs for the homeless. Let's go ahead and try to actually fund that. Let's go ahead and put that in 31 to 7. Granted a bill of hearing, House Education and Workforce Committee. I'm pagan. I actually know someone who's pagan. All right, and made it out of... Passes the House 346 to 89, passes the Senate Committee 18 to 4, and then passes the Senate 71 to 29, makes it to my desk. Let's go ahead and sign that into law. And then someone else actually talked about minimum wage earlier. Let's go ahead and increase the minimum wage to $12 an hour. Let's go ahead and introduce that to the House. And that actually does not go through. Trump's life is far, far, far away from Christian values. Well, I don't think he's a Christian. He's doing it to get their vote. You're not, as a Republican, you're not going to win without the evangelical white vote. All right. Your legislation is made out of committee with a vote of 24 to 14, and then passes the House 294 to 141, and has been denied a hearing in the Senate. Protege, let's see what kind of proteges we can actually get. Okay, so ooh, yikes, we are doing this way too late in the city year. Federal Archive, House, Senate. Missouri, actually, 2016. Nice. We actually got a Republican back there. Well, okay, I'm a Democrat. We need to get some people into the Senate. So let's go over here. Democrats. Let's see what we can do. What do you think about the latest poll in swing states? Actually, let me go ahead and pull that up then, so we have something else to talk about. We have that. Let's go for Ohio. Senator Gold. Senate. We can possibly run for... Let's go for West Virginia. Vernon Ray. Becker. How many Black and Hispanic Latino Republicans are in the U.S.? I do not know. I do not know. What's one state we could possibly actually creep into? Where are we right now? Federal, Senate. Okay. So we can definitely go for 2020. So we have Florida, Arizona we can shoot for. Nebraska, possibly. Iowa we actually have Iowa. Florida tends to go Democratic for me. Archive, let's check. Class 1. Okay, so we can go for Florida. Protege, Senate, Florida. Where's Florida? Florida. There we go. And let's do butt cotton. All right, let's check these next polls. Actually, let's Senate polls, latest polls, and we have a new poll out of Iowa since May 4th. Trump is actually 2 points ahead. New disapprove poll, 46% of people approve of the job that President Trump is doing. General election, this is general. This is actually across the United States. This is not for a specific state, but Biden is actually up 6 points. Do you think you could flip Texas? In the game? Possibly. Let's go for... there was not an election in 2018 for Texas. No, there was. It was Ted Cruz is actually up for election. Let's go for Texas. Let's go for Gomez. And I highly doubt these guys are going to be able to get into the job. Protege. Congressman. Next election, Senator for Ohio. Senator of West Virginia, Senator of Florida, and Senator of Texas. Did they win their primary? Looks like they did. Okay, I guess they were... Huh, that's interesting. I guess whenever you put a protege in there, they... Senate candidate, Hawaii. Let's go ahead and support... Massachusetts, Rhode Island. So these, I'm gonna wait. Senate candidate in Utah. Let's go ahead. Trump at 36% approval among African Americans. New poll finds this from US Today News. fundraisers. Vote on legislation. Let's go ahead and support. What else are we doing? Agricultural. Crap, I completely forgot about Arizona. Arizona definitely could flip. Rhode Island. 52,000. What do you think about Fox News? I believe Fox News should stop. I mean, they're not that big of a deal, but people give them way too much credit. Speaking of, we actually have a new poll from the Dallas Morning News. Trump versus Biden in the state of Texas. In the state of Texas is tied. For the general election, the state of Texas is a battleground state, apparently. General election, Biden is up 2 points as of Thursday. Biden is up 8 points in New Hampshire. And then Pennsylvania, Biden is up 6 points. North Carolina, Biden is up 5 points. Utah, Trump is up 19 points. I love CNN. Yeah, possibly. CNN is actually one of my main people. Oh, look, there's actually our Senate candidate for the state of Texas. Turnout in Texas, 32,000, so not enough. We have Missouri. Could have just had someone go in Missouri. I didn't know Missouri was up for grabs. Senate candidate in Nevada. I wish the president in this game, I wish the president would actually have a little bit more leeway into making amendments to these. I don't think the president is actually able to make an amendment to it, but at least a little more like see like what's going on in the in these areas. Like I mean, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what the hell is making Veterans Affairs $168 billion. In the game, I mean, there's only like a couple of sliders in there, so it's not really a lot. State and foreign operations, hopefully $23 billion. Hopefully that is actually including the money that I wanted to be cut. Everyone else bashed him and sided with critics. Fox did a good job on Bernie. I actually did not hear about that. Alright, looks like a bill made it to my desk, actually. Decreases. So this is federal prison sentence links for drug criminals. Let's go ahead. Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's support that. It's rallies. And let's go ahead and go to the next day. Looks like Ohio flipped. Ohio has flipped. 2 gains for the Democrats in this election. Ohio and Maine have flipped over to the Democratic Party. 50.4 in the state of Maine for the Democrats. Claude Hale has won her contest to become Senator of Maine for the next 6 years. And in Melanie Gold, I do believe actually that was my protege. But she has won as well. Let's go ahead and actually check to see if that was my protege. Melanie Gold, Senator of Ohio, she has again won her contest. Thank you, Melanie Gold, for winning that contest in the state of Maine, or in the state of Ohio, actually. The esteemed Senator Gold, Senator of Florida. And it looks like in the state of Florida, it was a very close between Cotton, Senate elections, Gomez, 53-47, very close in the state of Texas. I wish I could see a county map, actually, of that. Yeah, let's actually go over to crime, drugs, And $3.2 billion, let's eliminate that. Let's go ahead and eliminate drug sentencing for drug criminals. We really, really do not need to waste our money. Pardon the Thanksgiving turkey. Of course, it's a tradition. You take your place at the White House lawn. The air is crisp in the late autumn morning. The sunlight filters through the tree limbs that have shed nearly all their leaves. A crowd of photographers and guests stand across from you. In front of you, standing on a table, is a confused or disgruntled-looking turkey named Vance. Once the photographers have gotten into position, you've announced that you hereby pardon Vance the turkey, who will live out the remainder of his natural life in peace and happiness. The crowd cheers and applauds. Vance turns towards you for a moment. You think you see gratitude in his eyes. You smile and return to the White House. The event has ended. And for whatever reason, let's go ahead and actually get our approval rating up. That's actually something I need to make sure I have on lock whenever re-election starts coming around. So let's go over here. Let's go to policy. Raise taxes. Why is my approval so low? Pro-choice. Legalizing weed in real life is stupid. Have you legalized marijuana? It's called role-playing. Hell yeah. In the game, marijuana is already legal. So, candidate in 2016, Democratic presidential primary, Democratic nominee for president in 2016, and then president from 2017 to 2021. Office. Oh, that actually passed. Interesting. Looks like we're getting rid of drug sentencing. And school board, city council, and mayoral elections will be happening this year. Secretary of the Treasury. Let's go ahead. $179 billion. I guess that's maybe going down. Let's go ahead. Get rid of all of these. And let's create the federal budget. And we start off the year with we have started off this year with a surplus. This is the first time I've ever started out with a federal surplus. We are working with the surplus. We are finally balanced our books enough to actually have a consistent surplus in the United States federal government. Let's see what else we can do to mediate this. Let's look into reducing the child tax credit, or the earned income tax credit. This is a program that provides a tax credit to low-income and medium-income individuals. The child rate is provided to taxpayers with children. So that's the child rate, actually. Too many high people walking around, and it declines brain cells. Well, I mean, how do you know if they're high, honestly? $94 billion. Let's go ahead and put the tax rate at 6% and increase that to 71. Let's increase the eligibility rate of Medicare to 70. And education. Let's go ahead and submit that budget. Then let's just not worry about it. Let's see. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not like this legislation. I could not have written better legislation myself. So this is a tax reform 24 to 24. So by 0.1, I guess. Try to pay off the debt. It would be a cool challenge. Yeah, that's actually, I mean, it's a pretty good idea. Let's go over to budget. Let's see what we have a, look at that. Look at that. We had a deficit in the beginning of the game, and then we dropped down in one session. And then the next session, spending just consistently just kind of rose and lowered. And then went up as well, and then it skyrocketed for some reason, and then we just eliminated it under 2 years, in 2 years, we have eliminated our deficit. $522 billion in our surplus. We are now paying off the debt. We had a peak of $8.6 billion, and now we're now nearing about $7.75 billion. Trillion, actually. We are no longer funding Social Security or Medicare. We're going to hold on to that and try to change that soon. 31% is going toward health, 32% is going toward Social Security. Big chunk. $817 billion is discretionary spending, while 75% of our funding is actually going toward mandatory spending. $800 billion for Medicare, $205 billion toward Medicaid. I mean, $1 trillion for Social Security. Look at that. $780 billion in 2000 goes all the way up to $1.32 trillion, and then lowers down. So we're kind of getting a grasp on it. If you can get a grasp on it very early on, you are able to actually like benefit the interest payments, because these things will suck up so much money from the federal government that you're like, it's not going to be fun to be in the federal government. You're going to be better off, managing the state. The federal government is not going to be able to operate whenever this thing is as high as $1 trillion. So if you're able to get into the federal government very early on, like, Senate, House, or even president, and if you're able to get a grasp on this, you are able to save the United States a lot of hardship. You would need like 20 presidencies to pay the debt. Yeah, I believe so. It's interesting. But guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more of this, go ahead and sit back and relax. I will be back in a couple of days, and I will do another live stream for you guys. We are going to do the re-election. We're going to do the re-election for us in the next one. So if you guys are excited for that, please let me know. Office of Nuclear Energy. Yikes! Seriously? What happened? Why is there no funding going toward the Federal Energy Regulatory? Why is energy not being funded? Yikes. Big yikes. I mean, at least Office of Fossil Energy is going down. But it looks like, that was the same thing. Congress seems to want to defund nuclear energy and then defund fossil energy as well. What are my policies on energy? Energy policy less. Oh, yikes. Go more, idiots. More or less emphasis on providing coal energy. Medicare eligibility of 67 to 68. And then we'll decrease the expenditure by $50 billion, decrease tax revenue by $0, and decrease access to healthcare by $3.7 million. So let's go ahead and do that. And guys, if you guys like this, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching this live stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one.